The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Where my girls got the sweetest pussy.
The video is here on our Facebook page. For those of you who are on Facebook, you can just go to our video page, and it's the last video we did.
The last video before this one. There's actually like, I think 2 or 3 videos.
That's true.
The internet was so wonky. We were on top of a building. The internet should not have been wonky, but it was super duper wonky. It kept going up and down, and we had audio problems for the first 2 or 3 videos. Just watch the very last one.
You see the very last one was me closing it out. It was just me and then showing everything. So second to the last one. Yeah. She said, "Can you hold off talking about the bash?" So, of course.
Of course, we'll wait for you.
But I just wanted to throw it out there. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. So
there's a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about, and I want Toxi to be here to talk about it because I like all of our inputs.
Why did we start then?
Oh, so that we can start?
We start because it's we can talk about the sci-fi I've been watching. So
yeah,
I've been watching The Expanse. I love this show. I've only been watching it for like a day and a half.
It's amazeballs. I love it.
And it's very, very good. Of course, I have the luxury of being able to watch it one right after the other. Mm-hmm. I love consuming media that way, one right after the other. When I did My Favorite Murder podcasts, I started at 0 or 1, and for like a month almost, maybe less, I listened to every single podcast of theirs, and I had murder on my mind. I think I mentioned it on the show like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And then every conversation I had, on My Favorite Murder. Because that's kind of what happens. Anyway, the Expanse is great. You like that show, right?
I love that show.
Yeah.
It is the only show. So we have not cut the cable box yet. We still have our satellite dish and the DVR and everything. It is the only show we watched off of our DVR in the last 7 months. We have a shit ton of stuff recorded on there, but The Expanse is the only thing we watched.
I also finished Altered Carbon last week, which is also another great show.
I will say it. I've said it before, and I will say it again. Altered Carbon is probably hands down one of the most amazing sci-fi shows going on right now. It's based on a series of books that I haven't read yet, so I can't say how good it is compared to the books. But if for no other reason to watch this show, James Purfoy's dick is the reason.
I didn't get that far.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
You've seen the whole thing.
I think I've seen it, but I don't care.
I will have you to know that was not a prosthetic. That was his dick.
That's funny. Modern sci-fi is pretty good. I'm loving the new incarnations of sci-fi that's coming out.
I love it.
When I did watch, I was scanning Amazon last night, and I saw that Star Trek Discovery Season 1 is available on Amazon, but it doesn't have the blue stripe for the Prime.
That means you got to pay for it.
Well, it said watch it now for free.
You might be able to watch like 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah,
they tease shit like that all the time.
Yeah, but I've seen 1 through 6. I think episodes 1 through 6. So
I am not paying $7.99 a month.
$6.99
for one show. If I pay for a streaming service, it is so that I can watch all of the things on the streaming service. And currently, there is nothing on the streaming service on CBS that I want to watch.
If I'm ever a flush again, I am seriously thinking about doing BBC. The BBC app where you can watch all of their BBC shows, because they have all of the Doctor Who's from way back when. BritBox, that's the one.
So I've thought about BritBox. I've thought about paying for Crunchyroll, which is an anime subscription service. But there's only like a couple animes on there that I really, really want to watch. And I think I can see both of the ones I really want to see for free through the free service. There's another one. I'm thinking when we cut the cable box, I'm going to pay for Sling TV. Because there is still some regular TV that we would watch if we didn't have to switch the box over to the cable box all the time. Like, one of the things we love is that everything's on the Roku. My morning news is on the Roku. I don't need to have my cable box to watch my morning news. I can watch it live from my Roku on the, morning news app or whatever the fuck it is. But it's my regular morning news. It's the same people I watch on regular TV.
I am so used to on-demand watching now that when I walk into somebody's house, like when I go to my mom's house 2-3 times a week, and every time I go in, the TV is always on. She leaves it on because the dogs need the company, right? But every time and she always leaves it on Fox News because my mom is just crazy.
Yeah.
And but every time I walk in, and then when she's home as well, she's flipping channels. And it annoys the fuck out of me that she can't find something to watch. I'm like, just pull up your menu and find something.
Anything, please.
But no, we'll watch 5 minutes of the Food Network, and then 5 minutes of PBS, and then 5 minutes of something else, and then it always lands on the Kardashians because she loves the Kardashians.
I can watch all of the other Star Trek series, which are the only ones that really matter, on Netflix through my Netflix account right now. I'm almost done with DS9, and then we'll watch TNG, and then the only one I will have left to watch is Enterprise. And because I didn't watch it the first time, I may not even watch it a second time. You know why? I heard it wasn't all that great. And Scott Bakula will for always and ever be the time slidey dude. That's
Quantum Leap dude?
That's it. Quantum
The
Leap.
time slidey dude, I think. Was that Jason Bateman?
Oh,
No.
yeah, they did.
No, the Sliders. The Sliders.
Sliders. Yeah, that was
I love that
Jason
show.
Bateman.
Yeah. Was that Jason Bateman?
I think it was. Either way, I loved them both, and they happened similarly.
Sliders was just so much fun. Jerry O'Connell. Okay. I have no clue.
Sliders was a lot of fun, and I think they canceled it without resolution. Like, I think it ended on a hanger, and there was no resolution for it, which makes me sad when they do that.
Do you remember the episode where they went back and they were in the park and then there were dinosaurs? I love that show.
Sliders was a good
Quantum
show.
Leap was okay. I don't know. Going into somebody else's body is kind of creepy to me, but it was okay. I like the relationship between, I don't even remember the character's name, but Dean Stockton played the character or whatever, and yeah.
You know what I would like to see a revival of is Buck Rogers. I'd like to see Buck Rogers. Yeah.
Buck Rogers in the 25th century. I love that show.
I'd like it to be Buck Rogers in the 35th
And
century.
I
or
was
whatever.
so in love with the guy with the birds, the bird guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even remember his name right now.
I would love to see
How
that
how
revived.
did you see Buck Rogers and not watch Battlestar Galactica? Because that was on at the same time.
I don't know.
Because Battlestar Galactica with the boy Starbuck, dude, and Apollo, dude.
You know, I disliked the new one so much that I don't know if I'll ever watch the original. It's just like, and all of my sci-fi fan friends, turn over in their little collective nerd chairs when I say I hated Battlestar Galactica. No. Hate's too much of a passion. I didn't care. I had no shits to give about Battlestar Galactica, the new one. And therefore the old one holds no appeal for me.
The new ones are very different than the old world one. I mean, if I watch the old one now, it's kind of hokey. It's, like Star Trek TOS is to me.
Yeah.
Maybe not that hokey, though, because it still comes from when I was growing up. So it's hokey, but not that hokey. And I always wanted the rectangle credits that they had, which was so cute.
The other one that I never got into,
Hawk!
never cared
That's his
for,
name.
Babylon 5.
Nope, not a fan.
Not a fan. I just couldn't get into it.
I tried it.
And everyone is like, it was so good. And I'm like, bleh. Honestly, I've taken a little break from Lex because I can't watch that much Lex in that straight period of time.
Is it still horrible?
It's It's still horrible, but I think I'm used to the horribleness now. It's kind of like, you know, when you're eating spicy foods, at some point your mouth just goes numb, so you just keep eating it. I mean, eventually I'm going to poop it all out and I'll pay for it later, but right now, if you told me I had to either watch Lex or Babylon 5, I would probably go with Lex. I've tried Babylon 5. Please don't tell me I need to make it to a certain episode or I need to make it to a certain season. I have tried it, and I have no shits to give. It does not engender in me the kind of emotional connection things like Expanse and Altered Carbon and all of the current Star Treks except for STD, because that's what it is. I just haven't been...
Well, you know, when it does become free and you finally do watch Star Trek Discovery, you're going to love it. You know that, right?
Maybe not.
Yeah, you will.
The guy who plays the captain, I'm not a fan of him as an actor.
He's not a big, huge part. I mean, he's a big part, but in the episodes that I watched, he didn't figure
also,
prominently.
Sasha's always going to be Sasha to me. Always. Always will be Sasha. And so whenever I see her, I'm just going to expect her to be a zombie because she's a zombie now. Sasha's a walker, y'all.
Your mind will change. I like the new episodes enough to where your minds will change.
I don't think so.
We have Crystal. Say hi, Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
Fernie, of course, who perked up at the word sperm. William Phillips. Dawn Jett, who is traveling in Cali. She says hello. Is that Dietland or Deetland, Thomas? I wrote it down.
It's Dietland.
Dietland?
Yeah.
He said, have you seen it? Have you seen it?
I haven't
Have you seen it?
Is it good?
Can you open your mic and tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, make us want to watch it. Is James Purfoy's dick in it?
It is a G-rated version of SinCityBounty.
What?
It's an excellent show.
Okay.
And what's the premise? I mean, is it...
I hesitate saying anything because the main character is a BBW. She works as a writer, doing advice, giving young girls advice for some women's magazine. And she's really a ghostwriter. It's supposed to be her boss that is actually
Writing
the
it.
person that's giving the advice, but she's doing it. And she's wanting to save money because she wants to get an operation, have her stomach stapled, and she runs into all kinds of characters. There are some women's movement that's killing a bunch of scumbags, and it's really very well written. I thought it's very well done.
You know what? I think I have read about this in the last few weeks. I haven't checked it out, but I remember reading a snippet about it's still about how it portrays, like Drop Dead Diva. As much as we love that show, it's all about how she gets it back by being a skinny person, right? Because a fat girl is actually inside of a skinny girl.
No, it's a skinny girl inside of a fat girl.
Yeah.
No, it's about how, you know,
It's about
she
body
was...
image.
Yes.
And
how it's supposed
our
to be great.
perception- And there's a great line in the movie where she says that she realizes that she's been spending her whole life wanting to be. And she was watching porn in this room, and she was talking about all of the women in the porn are victims or portrayed as victims, and she said, I've been convincing myself that I am a victim and working my whole life into becoming a different kind of victim. So, I mean, I think it's an excellent show.
We should review it for the show.
I completely disagree, by the way, with everyone who says Drop Dead Diva was about she couldn't get anything she couldn't get anything unless she was a skinny girl, which is wrong. She had everything as a skinny girl, but she learned the value of it all as a fat girl. As a fat girl, she learned she was still beautiful, and she rocked the fuck out of being a fat girl. So, all you Drop Dead Diva fucking naysayers can just kiss my sweet happy ass. They ended that show way too fucking soon. Way too fucking soon.
Thomas says, Doctor Who is coming back. Yes, I have the trailer saved for the new female Doctor Who. I'm very excited about that. William says, Alter Carbon is fantastic. Fernie said, be right back. Like we were going to know that you were gone.
Yeah, wait a minute.
The only thing that bums me out about the new Doctor being a female because that means most of the companions are going to be men.
That's not necessarily true.
You poor
I
baby.
suppose.
So Santa Clarita Diet, I have heard wonderful things about it. I have not sat down to watch it yet, but
It
I
is
do
saved
get-
on my list.
Yeah, it's on my watch list. I dislike Mirror Universe. I want to see Quentin Tarantino's take on Mirror Universe, if that will ever happen. But I dislike Mirror Universe.
The Star Trek Mirror Universe
Yeah, 'cause
episodes, I hate them all
William-
too. Not even the DS9 ones.
You know what? One in each season, or one in each series, is fine. But DS9 went overboard with it. Voyager had like 2 Mirror Universe episodes.
I don't remember them having any.
There has been one Mirror
There
Universe
was the
episode.
one. It wasn't Mirror Universe though. It was when the Doctor was stuck in his in the holodeck box, and they released him in the museum, and they were telling the story
So
of.
that's not a Mirror Universe
No.
episode, and I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
But there is a Mirror Universe, and there are also multiple parallel universe episodes.
Oh, I don't remember any of those.
So Harry Kim, who finishes the show, is not our original Harry Kim. He's from an alternate
I know that
universe.
one. That's a time thing. That was a time,
It was a
Yeah.
parallel universe thing,
Yeah.
is what it was.
but not Mirror.
No, I'm pretty sure there was one Mirror Universe episode.
I'm gonna beg to differ with that.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, so if I like Mirror Universe episodes, I'll love Discovery's first season captain. Gonna say no.
Jason says, "Hi, hun." Which hun? Like
2 of us.
Attila.
He's a good hun. I mean, he's a bad hun, but
There's
he's a
always
good bad hun.
Genghis, you know. BritBox doesn't have everything. Well, that's why we'll probably still keep Amazon Prime and Netflix.
BritBox is pretty good.
And I think that's only like $4.99 a month or something like that.
Speaking of which, this freaked me out completely because I was watching Saunders and French, Dawn French, where she plays a vicar in this little village.
A woman playing a vicar?
Pardon me?
A woman playing a vicar?
Yeah. She's the vicar of Dibley, this little small English village. And so early in the season, early in the first couple of shows, they're going to do this, they're doing a TV show about the little village and stuff like that. And the guy comes in, the producer of the thing, to check out the city and talk to her and all that stuff. And I kept looking at this guy, and I kept looking at this guy, and I'm going, holy crap, who is this guy? And I realized it was Peter Capaldi when he was like about 20 years old. You know, and he had like this huge
Giant
hair,
fro.
you know, and almost an afro, and it was just like, whoa!
For those,
Whiny.
for all of you guys who don't watch Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi is the latest incarnation of Doctor Who, who was also a Roman a Pompeian in a previous Doctor Who episode.
Yeah.
And then William keeps talking about Star Trek because William knows everything there is to know about Star Trek.
Except what's good.
Coron says hello. How are you? Santa Clarita Diet, right?
Yeah.
It's in my queue. So.
Yeah, it's in my.
And then more Star Trek crap.
Yeah, it's too gory for her.
Is it tongue in cheek?
No. Yeah,
It seems tongue in cheek.
it's tongue in cheek, but it's super duper gory. Our friend Brian really likes it.
Okay.
Brian and his wife Wendy are constantly telling us to watch it.
Right. I really liked the show Lie to Me. Do you know that show with the
It's
micro
on,
expressions?
It's on Prime right now.
It's
or
on Prime, but it's
Hulu.
not Prime. It's on Amazon, but not Prime.
It's on Hulu.
I have your Hulu password, but I don't have internet at home, so I can only watch it when I'm elsewhere. Lie to Me. It was only like 3 seasons, I think it was. It's a
really
detective agency guy. He reads micro expressions. He can tell what you're thinking, and anyway. But he has a new Amazon show called Tin Star, where he's a sheriff or something like that. And since I like the guy who plays that, I downloaded episode 1. So I'm going to check that out tonight after the show and see if I like it.
Well, I will tell you one show on Netflix that I'm sad. I'm glad they wrapped it all up, but I'm sad it's not coming back. And that's the one about the Montana cop, the older dude. Oh God, why can't I remember the name of it? No, not Ozark.
Ozark's amazing.
Oh, is it Ozark with Jason Bateman?
Yes.
He's popular tonight with us.
Jason
Longmire.
Bateman is fucking awesome.
Longmire?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
God.
You know, I am not.
But then I do love a rugged older dude. So.
I'm not a Western fan, so I think I'm going to be disappointed with
It's a
Star.
true crime. Well, Longmire's more like a true crime kind of thing.
I don't even like country theme. Dukes of Hazzard, nuh-uh, couldn't watch it.
Wow.
What's the one with Chuck Norris? Where he was
Walker, Texas Ranger.
could not even anything to do with cowboys. I'm just not a fan of.
See, I love cowboys.
That Southern, that cowboy, that Old West kind of thing. It was really hard for me to watch Back to the Future 3. And I love Back to the Future movies.
So I take it Wild Wild West with Will Smith.
It's Will Smith. That's a little bit different. It's a little bit different.
It's like steampunk Wild Wild West. It's like steampunk Will Smith meets the Wild Wild
There's the Star Trek episode where Worf and his son have to go up against all the Datas.
Yeah.
I think that's the name of the episode, All the Datas. And that was kind of hard to watch. I'm just not a big Western fan at all, so I don't know why. It's that whole genre. That's why I haven't even.
I like a good spaghetti western too. So.
I haven't even tried to watch. What's the one with
what?
It comes from an old movie that I think
tell
Sean
you.
Connery was in, where the robots are in the town.
Westworld.
Westworld. That's a westerny kind of right show.
It's a sci-fi thing.
I know it's sci-fi, but
You absolutely have to watch.
but
I
the
have to
robots.
subscribe to
Wait.
HBO.
But the Westworld world is in the West, right? The Old West.
Only parts of it.
Part of it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch it. And I love sci-fi, and I like the movie somewhat.
Well, I'm going to be subscribing to HBO Go, so you can watch it. So a
Wait,
spaghetti western.
hold on. Does that mean I can get rid of? I have HBO as an add-on to my Hulu.
Yeah.
Does that mean I can get rid of it now and just use your Go?
Yeah. Oh, I could add it onto my Hulu too. So a spaghetti western in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. Western movies were not filmed in America. They were mostly filmed in Italy and Spain, and so they were called spaghetti westerns. So all those old
Clint Eastwood was
Clint
the big-
Eastwood movies, and yeah, those were
All things I never watched. Got it.
yeah.
Fistful of Data. See, William is the Star Trek
Marion
king.
Capelli. I can't remember what the fuck. There's a composer who did most of the music for those spaghetti westerns. Huh?
Lalo Schifrin.
No,
Was
it's
he a friend?
Marion
No.
Cacchione.
Who are we talking about? And why are we talking
Yeah,
about
he
him?
did all the music for the spaghetti western.
No, he's not the only one who did all the
Oh.
music for the
That was actually a not nice comment on my part.
What did you say?
I said, "Were you friends with them?"
What?
But you were just saying like they're super super old westerns,
yeah,
and then
they're
he
old
mentioned
westerns.
someone, and I
If you're
joked and said,
if you're a big
Were you
fan,
friends with them?
if you're a big fan, I have all of Clint Eastwood's spaghetti westerns on DVD. You can have them. They were Mike's. He was a huge fan of them,
All right.
so I have them all.
Yeah, me and the boy, we both like them.
Yeah, you can have them.
Where's
I only
my
kept them because they were
ringtones?
his, just like his Alice in Wonderlands. I'm not a fan of that story either. I know, sacrilege. Eat me, whatever. Drink me,
I mean-
whatever.
"How can you not like something that centers around eating you?"
But that's not what it centers around.
I know. I've seen it, believe it or not.
All right, so I was mentioning everybody that was in. I think I got everyone. Karan, Thomas again, William. Toxi has joined the chat. Is David Tennant? I hope David Tennant is not playing another psychopath. I don't want him to be typecasted. He was great. What's that detective show where he's the broody, moody?
Castle?
No,
No.
David Tennant.
I don't know
Oh,
who
that's
it is.
It's
oh,
a British.
And the Americans made a really shitty version of it. It's about the kid that dies and they're trying to find him.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
I know what that is. I just can't think of the name now.
Here's the connection.
I love that one.
With David Tennant, that show, and it was something church, Broadchurch.
Yeah, Broadchurch.
David Tennant is in there, who was Doctor Who. The kid's mother, who died, is the new Doctor Who.
Cool. Broadchurch, yes, that is.
Yeah,
I
it's
love that.
Broadchurch.
I love that.
Me too.
I don't like the fact that he's so dark in that. I think he's almost suicidal, right?
There's a new series coming out with him and somebody else.
Anyway, so I didn't like the fact that he was so dark, but then you go back, and I rewatch Doctor Who often, and you go back and you watch The Water on Mars, and you go, God damn, he's dark anyway. So, I mean, it's just natural for him.
Ennio Morricone.
Okay.
That's the composer I was thinking
Yeah,
of.
he did all of the second-rate B movie.
Well, he did Two Mules for Sister Sarah, which is a...
Thomas
from
asks,
that.
why do we always cast Brits as psychopaths? I don't
Because
think
they
that's...
are.
I don't
Because
no,
they
no.
make excellent psychopaths.
That's true. I think the accent lends a lot to the psychopathic personality, but there's a couple of American actors who make...
It should be, yeah,
There's-
it should be y'all.
There's a few American actors who make great psychopaths. What's the one with that made the wooden...
Hannibal Lecter. No, I'm just picking shit
Anthony
out my ass
Hopkins? Is he American?
No, he's British.
He's British. Who is John Malkovich?
Oh.
Oh, God, yes. He makes a great psychopath.
And he's an American,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
I loved him in Reds.
What's the...
Con Air. I'm literally just gonna guess shit all
Steve
night.
Buscemi makes a great
Steve Buscemi
fucking
does.
psychopath.
Steve Buscemi.
Has he ever played a
absolutely.
psychopath?
In
Yeah,
Con Air and a
yeah,
couple of other movies, yeah.
Okay.
And you know
Totally.
what? Steve Buscemi is on my celebrity fuck list. I would fuck. You know why? Because when I see him get interviewed, I can see the kinky fucker behind the mask. He is a kinky motherfucker. He is an ass smacking, hair pulling, kinky motherfucker. I just know it. Deep in my
I
soul.
feel like we need to research and see
It's
if there's
like-
any data to support this.
It's like kinky namaste. The kink inside me sees the kink inside you. Yeah.
What is that? Kinkinamaste?
Kinky namaste.
I do want to give a shout out to Hugh Grant for his portrayal of the British politician in that new show on Amazon called A Very English Scandal.
Bridget's Diary. No, Bridget Jones's Diary.
What's it called?
No.
It's called A Very English Scandal. I think it's what it's called. A Very British or A Very English Scandal. And it's just three parts to this series movie thing. And it's about him being a closet gay politician and going to court. And I've always liked Hugh Grant from all the movies that he's done, the romance comedies that I love. But he was great in this scene.
You just thought he was great because you got some implied butt sex.
And that was like the first 20 minutes of episode
Whoa,
1.
hold on. Back it up. What's the name again?
A Very English Scandal or A Very British Scandal. I can't remember for sure which, but
It's on Amazon?
Amazon Prime, yeah.
She's taking notes.
Okay, I have one.
On the list.
Who is America?
Is that a show?
It's a song.
I know. Who's American? It's about America. Fiara. It's not about her?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, no, fuck that. I won't watch anything he's in.
Who's
God,
Sacha Baron Cohen?
I despise him.
If you see him, you'll know him.
You'll know him. You know that guy who got into trouble? Borat. That's it.
Right.
Borat? No, fuck that guy. Sorry, he's just so annoying.
He's got this Republican congressman to say on camera, actually advocate for giving 4- and 5-year-olds guns in school to protect themselves.
He made a governor say that? Is
No,
that what you said?
He got a government.
He got a governor,
Called Who's America?
so he
And
like
dresses up like all
seeded the
the-
Will you
garden.
let him finish?
He got Bernie Sanders. He's sitting there with Bernie Sanders, and he's talking about, getting rid of Obamacare and all this stuff. And Bernie Sanders just looks at him and goes, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Got up and left. And then he got another.
John really loves this show.
And I'm telling you, it is brilliant because he's got all of these politicians talking about all the things that they really want to talk about. And they think he's legit. And he's just setting them up and just, he's got the one that's he's got one Republican politician, and he's telling him that the best way,
John can't even
the
finish.
best way to scare off Muslims is to drop your pants and run at them with your butt, because if your butt touches them, they will turn gay. So he's got the congressman dropping his pants on camera, running towards him, and
I don't know how I missed this.
It's new. It
It's
just
just
came out. There's only 2 episodes. Sorry, I didn't mean to take up your show.
No,
okay.
no, you're good.
Sasha Baron Cohen, not gonna see it. Sorry.
Yeah,
No
that's
matter
kinda
how
what,
hilarious.
that's kind of what stopped me too.
I am not a fan of what's that called, where you pull people in to do things.
You duping them?
Fake news.
No, police use a bait, some kind of bait
Oh,
thing or whatever.
entrapment.
Entrapment.
There you
It's
go.
a kind of entrapment. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. So,
Not either.
and that's what it sounds like to me. a
You know
little
which
bit.
kind of videos I actually hate? The ones where they record themselves randomly on the street, like they'll touch people and then record and see what happens, or take their food and take a bite of it. And one is like this really hot girl, so she gets away with it.
Yeah.
Because she's this really hot girl.
Dear
Like she'll
people,
take their food.
That's victimizing
she'll touch
people.
them.
Please stop it.
There's an exception though, and it's not. Yeah, it is an exception. What would you do? You know that show, What Would You Do, where the host sets up an argument between a mother and the daughter, and the mother calls the daughter a slut or whatever, and all the patrons they film what all the patrons do and who stands up
Yeah,
for them
but
or whatever.
If you're the shitty one who doesn't, and then you're on air, you become that.
Well,
Yeah,
except
shitty
that
one
you
who
can
did
always
it.
opt to not sign the release
That's
form,
true.
so they blur your face out. They blur people's faces out on that thing all the
Yeah.
time. But
So that one I'll watch on occasion. I remember watching it like 2 or 3 shows in a row, and then I just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, it's interesting, the human psychology behind stuff like that, because if they do get to talk to someone who didn't do anything, and then I just feel bad for that person, because
So
I probably would have been the
that's-
person that didn't do anything.
So that's actually why I have trouble watching it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen a few before, but I have the trouble because I feel bad. I feel like maybe, what if it's that person and they didn't act and then they were feeling guilty about it and now they feel shamed about it
Yeah.
because everyone is aware of what happened.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about the bash.
Yes!
Apparently,
So
there's
was-
nothing to talk about. So we had a remote broadcast Saturday. If you were with us through the first 2 or 3 versions of that video, thank God. If you stuck through to the very end, thank you, even Godder. If you haven't seen any of them, just watch the last one. The first 2, they're great, and we had some good interviews, but the audio is a little wonky because I was still playing around with the audio. But I fixed it, and it will never be that wonky again.
So it's what happened, just to kind of explain, we had the audio set. The audio was set and it was good and it was working great. And it was tested to the level of the music, and everything was great until partway through our first interview.
They just
the
cranked
DJ
the
just
fucking music
cranked it way up, like bam,
And
and
you
then
couldn't hear us at all.
and then we had to kind of change course throughout there.
Yeah.
But
It sounded great when we started, and then it was shitty for a while, and then it sounded okay at the end.
So I have to admit, I was drunk before I got to this one. I was already enjoying myself before we even
Got there.
got off the elevator to get to there, which in hindsight I don't really like to do because it's very unprofessional. It's bad enough I'm late, and then I was late there too, and it's just bad. On the other side, I tend to get people much easier to come on the show when I go out and find people, but
You are a lot friendlier
I
when you've been
apparently-
drinking.
I don't know if
Apparently,
friendly
yeah.
is the term. Just personable for sure. Very lap-sitty. Like
Lap-sitty.
she'll sit in your lap.
I don't think did I sit in any laps?
I don't know. You wandered away for a while on your own sometimes.
I did some other things. I don't know if it was necessarily lap sitting. Like at some points I go, wait, I'm supposed to be doing a show, and then I had to walk away. So it was quite interesting. It's another event where like almost everyone basically knew who we were. Even kind of walking around to the pool and stuff. They knew who we were and by name and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, and I was in a really introvert mood for whatever reason. So there, by the end of the evening, when we were just kind of hanging out, we'd packed everything up. We were going to hang out for a little while. I was fucking over it. I was done with people. I was done talking to people. I was done with people touching me and talking to me and getting up in my face. And I was just like, no, we gotta go.
Yeah, and you were like, get this person to stop talking to me.
And touching me, like that was the thing. Like everyone wanted to talk to me like this, and I'm like, why do you need to touch me to talk to me? Stop fucking talking to me and touching me and get away from me. Get your leg off me. You're hairy. Fuck it. Stop. I was trying to be polite and telling her we need to pack up, we need to get going, I need to change, and then finally I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I'm fucking done. We need to go.
And you kept going. So at the end, you said, we all wrote together, and you had said, hey, I'll give you guys an hour to go out and, you know, go enjoy yourselves. I'm staying here with the equipment, and you were hanging out with Fernie. And so I swear that we were only out there 15 minutes, and you're like, our hour's up. The hour's up.
Nope.
And I'm like, no, it's been like 7 minutes.
And I'm like,
you're
nope.
like, no.
And I'm like, who's got the time? And somebody was like, it's 2:30. I'm like, our hour is way up. We gotta go. Go. And she was like, just a little. Well, we got 5 minutes. I'm like, no, we don't. No, we don't. Stop it.
But until that point, the party was great.
No, the party was great. Even
The
up to that
music
point.
was good.
I was a downer, but.
Well, it was winding down. It was towards the end of the night.
But even towards the end of the night, it was like picking up.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't actually winding down in the party area, because I ended up staying. You guys left, and I ended up staying there. And you know, when it hit 4 a.m., like people were still out there. I had no idea it was over. I'm like, do we have to go? Yes, I did. So I did enjoy the fine morn.
Nice.
But I do want to share something, just a little part, but I got the best pickup line that has ever been said to me, and you might have still been there. But I'd like to quote it. And whether it was a pickup line or not, it worked. But so someone said to me, you speak in beautiful paragraphs. Very nice sentences.
That's a compliment I would expect from me, because I'm a writer.
Did you find out if he was an English teacher?
Is he a native English speaker?
Actually, no, he isn't.
Because
I don't know about English, but he's a teacher.
I will totally flirt with someone who has excellent handwriting. And I will totally use it as a pickup line.
I'm just going to say, Alexia's going to walk around now with a notepad and a pen. She'll be like, could you write this paragraph for me?
But here's the thing. This is why, I mean, obviously I use like a lot and you know, all of this. But I was also drunk, so I don't even know if I was using actual words. Like, I tend to, at that point, like, I think I tend to mumble or spit or drool or put my mouth places I probably shouldn't put my mouth in public. I don't know.
On a dick.
But I don't necessarily know if my sentence structure was quite up to par at that moment. However,
on occasion, I've seen you drink a few times, and sometimes you slur, like I don't understand what you're saying. But there are other times, especially when you're trying to make a point, where your diction becomes almost perfect.
Oh, you know I'm drunk texting you if my grammar is amazing. Because it takes me 45 minutes to type any sort of drunk text. Because I have to back it up. And I'm I'm doing this thing. But if my grammar and punctuation is on point, then we know I'm drunk.
Then we know that time that you were high, It was probably the best text I've ever received in my life.
I did text poetry to these guys one time.
No dangling participles.
Nothing dangled. Nothing dangled. I tend to dangle it all. Nothing dangled.
Yeah.
You were dangle free.
Usually am, but I wipe pretty good afterwards.
So anyway, it was definitely a lot of fun. There were still parties going on. So at 4 a.m., everybody's like, which party are you going to? And I'm like, I'm 42. I'm going to bed. It didn't quite happen, but, you know, everybody at that point, everybody like broke off to parties. And I'm sitting there thinking, don't these people have to fly home? And that was it. Everybody just kind of
They'll be hungover and drunk on the plane on the way home.
I do want to say thank you so much to Plush, Jacob, Tammy, and the Plush crew.
Hell yeah.
They were the first ones to sit down with us for the interview. Plus, we've got now our own plush tanks, which I'm going to treasure.
I have your plush tank.
Good, thank God, because I know that I got home and I started unpacking all my stuff, and I'm like, where the fuck did my shirt go?
I was in my friend's room and I'm pulling it out of the bag and I'm like, oh crap, I had my clothes in there. And I guess I had shoved the tank tops in, and I must have grabbed yours. And I'm like, all I have to put on right now is 2 wet tank tops and now wet clothes that are wet and wrinkled because I put these wet tank tops in there. So luckily she has like a plethora of clothing, and like she's like, here, put this bra on, put this dress on, and that was it. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of amazing. So,
and of course, a huge shout out to Stu and Lacey and XLence BBW. You can visit their website, XLenceBBW.com or PlushBBW.com, and go to all their events. Stu has events all over the country. All over the country, different times of year. Up there, up in the back east, up northeast, down south, up
Everywhere.
northwest.
Jersey,
He does it all.
Seattle.
Yeah.
I believe Jersey,
So
Seattle.
there's 2 here in Vegas, usually every year, Summer Bash and Winter Bash, or Winter Weekend.
Right.
So, and those are the ones that we usually always attend. So make sure you book those, because everybody wants to come to Vegas. Come on now.
All right, so the next time you and I drink, I'm going to bring over my complete works of Shakespeare, and we're going to live stream you and I doing something from, like, Taming of the Shrew or something like that.
If it's anything like the last time, I will definitely do that. Because that was one of those times that we both had so much to drink that the next day we're like, what happened?
We were both kind of
What
like,
happened?
I ruined friendships that night. I'm just saying, we did a lot of fucking drinking that night. Like, lives changed that evening.
It was like, can we get our bottle? No, you guys drank it.
It was gone. It was like, we drank a whole bottle of rum.
William just said that you all wanted to make me start drinking again in a good way. No, be the sober person, because watching the 2 of them is fucking hilarious.
I am usually on person shoe duty.
It is better entertainment than
when I get the
some of those
opportunity
TV
to
shows
go
we were
out
talking
and
about.
really tie one on, it's...
And here's the thing, though. When you do, you don't get sloppy. Like, you still are like yourself, but you could tell you're really enjoying
She's
yourself.
very animated. She gets more
You
animated.
are.
I tell stories. I'm that person who ends up standing on the table going, and then I don't remember shit after that day. Like, that's how the...
You're like, and then I said, where did your penis go?
And then I was like, it was so small, I didn't know he was done. That's an actual story.
That comes from a true story.
True story. And I will tell that one sober or drunk. Oh, yeah, Midsummer Night's Dream. That's a good one, too.
Thomas, the idea of a Toxi, speaking like Shakespeare when drunk.
Yeah.
That's why she mentioned.
That's why
she
I
would
mentioned
bring her.
I would bring my complete works.
It would be amazing. My
Could you
kid
just
loves
imagine
Shakespeare.
me and you at the studios, shit-faced, live streaming us reading Shakespeare?
We'll do it from
Well, there's
like the
people humping on the
We'll do it
hump
from
boat.
the hump boat.
We'll do it from the
like
hump boat.
We'll rock in the hump boat, and then we'll be like,
I can't rock while I'm drunk. I can't do that. I can barely rock when I'm sober.
So, anything else about Saturday's party we want to talk about?
No, it was a
Not
good time.
specifically, but I do have a subject I'd like to discuss.
Can I open it with what you came back to the table and said? Who was on duty?
No. Let's not go that far.
Okay.
But I do want to talk about, so I don't know if I've made it particularly clear on the show or not, but I am no longer in a relationship. I am single. I broke up with my partner a couple of months ago, and I tried to do it as civilly as possible, and I think I did end it fairly civilly, because it was heading toward a place where it was not going to end well, and I did not want it to get to that point. So there is, I believe, some etiquette when telling people about your breakup.
There should be some etiquette.
There should be some etiquette. My best friends knew right the fuck away, because they ended up coming over that night because they knew I was doing it and they wanted to be there to support me. Other people I have just responded to when they ask me about my ex. Like, how is your ex doing? I've responded with, I think he's doing well, but we broke up a few months ago. And they're like, and then you eventually get the, oh, I'm so sorry. And then you always respond with, no, it was the best for both of us. We weren't really happy. Blah, blah, blah. Wish them all the best.
If it even gets that far.
If it even gets to
Right.
that
Yeah,
point.
and some people just know, they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Hey, I like your shoes.
And some people who knew what was going on are just like, well, that makes sense. But I just don't think that you should approach people and be like, hi, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. By the way, we broke up. Like, I just don't think
It should not be the opening entry.
It should be the opening salvo in a conversation. Exactly. Like, it shouldn't be like, how the fuck are you? Bitch broke up with me. Like, it shouldn't be that way. It really should be, it should come up as part of a natural part of the conversation. I think you don't need to run around with a fucking sign over your head going, just,
What kind of sign? Can I see it again?
it annoys the fuck out of me when I see people do that, because I see it all the time when people break up. They're like, oh, that bitch broke up with me, or that asshole broke up with me. And I'd be like, do you really hate them that much because they broke up with you? Because if they broke up with you and you're mad at them, there's a good goddamn reason why you guys broke up. And I just don't think you should be running around just like
Leading with
depressing news. That's be like, hi, how's it going? By the way, my grandmother died of cancer last week. That's not how you open a fucking conversation. I hate it when people open conversations with shit like that. Like,
So
there's
like
a guy that
they want instant sympathy.
there was a guy I was talking to, and then he stopped talking to me. And then he returned a conversation back on and was like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, good, how are you? And he's like, my mom just died. And I'm like, dude, seriously? Like, I get that I asked, how are you doing? But you literally started a conversation with me to tell me your mother died.
Where can the conversation go after that?
There's nowhere to
There's
go.
nowhere for it to fucking go. It's like,
you're not going to ask him, so what are you watching on Netflix this week? You
no,
know, that you can't
it's not
ask
gonna be
that
like,
question.
you want to go get coffee? Like, you can't end it with anything like that. By the way, this is another one of those motherfuckers who's like, oh yeah, I really want to meet you. Great, I'm free next Wednesday. Maybe not then. That's fine. Get back to me when you're available.
I had a guy one time that we had just gotten to the texting phase, because I do things a little different. Like, I will text the fuck out of you forever before I'll even go meet you. And most people don't. And I'm just like, I don't want to waste my time if nothing's there. I just don't want to waste my time. And so
I also don't want to waste my texting time, which is precious and, as you guys know, rare.
right. But
so
everybody
it's like,
does it different, because some do it just like you.
Like,
some
I want to
do it
meet a
like
guy.
me.
Are we going to bone? We're not going to bone? It's done.
It's done.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Move on.
So-
Don't waste my time.
This dude and I were texting, and all of a sudden my phone rings and it's his number. And I'm like, number one, don't call me. Like,
Weirdo.
what are you doing? That's not what a phone is for. A phone is for texting. Don't fucking call me ever.
I 100% agree.
Don't do it. Even my friends know. If it, put it in the text. Although I did have to call you for the one, because I thought I needed my expressions to come across. But anyway, and he called, and so I answered, and he's like crying. He's like drunk. His wife was dead, and his ex-in-laws want to take the kids and all of this. And I'm going like,
This is a guy that you might date?
No, that she hadn't even gone on
I
a date
hadn't-
with
we hadn't
yet.
gone on a date yet.
That's what I'm saying,
we
like
were
a
just
potential,
texting,
yeah, oh my
yes.
God.
And so, I mean, literally it went from like, what shows do you watch on Netflix, to like my dead wife's parents, like, want to take the kids, and he's bawling, and, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day when he was sober, he apologized, but like, that was it. I don't know what to
he
say
was
to
drunk?
that. Yeah, he was drunk.
There's a lot of, in my heart, there's a lot of forgiveness for people who are drunk.
Absolutely. If I call you up while I'm drunk
Yeah.
and I start crying to you, there is forgiveness.
Yes.
And if I call you up while I'm drunk and start crying to you, there is forgiveness. But if I just started talking to you,
If I don't know your last name,
there you
don't
go.
Get,
There you go.
If I don't know your last name, you do not get to call me drunk or upset or tell me your mom just died.
Nah, I give forgiveness to
There
a
you
lot
go.
of people. Drunkenness.
I give forgiveness to a lot too,
changes.
and I do that as well. But that was very.
When we were hanging out at the bar all the time, there were drunks all the time.
There is a point. There is a line in the sand.
Oh yeah.
If you like, I get that you're drunk, but I do know that you also still have some control over your actions. If you get drunk enough to lose control, you've generally passed out and parfed on yourself.
And then you're no longer my problem, so I don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. I just called paramedics on your ass.
Right. I mean, if you want to tell me your sob story, that's fine. I have the opportunity to walk away, especially
Right.
at a bar.
And I've listened
or
to plenty.
to stop texting or to turn off my phone if they're
I
messaging.
totally get
It's
it.
one thing if it's a rando bar dude or a barfly you know regularly. If it's a guy who's trying to get into your pants,
And who's trying to get to know you.
But they're drunk.
nope. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're not friends enough to have
Right.
that drunken
I
conversation.
do
more
a
forgiving.
lot of crazy things when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
But that I don't do. I've never been like, hey, I got this going on. Like my cat died, and let me give you my last name.
Now, I have some rando dude would tell me a story, a sob story, whatever, and you go, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And then you just walk away, right? And then they follow you around the bar to keep talking to you because you listened to him the first time. And then you can go, dude, I really don't want to talk to you right
But
now.
See, that's
see, in
why I
that
don't listen to him
situation-
the first time.
I stay. I'm the one who ends up, I feel bad. Like I stay, I listen to them. Again, I just feel this is different because this is somebody who you're trying to kind of get to know each other. That bar dude doesn't care if he gets to know me. Like he's just drunk. That's it. This is a dude like trying to get to know me and vice versa. And then like he's, going on about the in-laws and everything. And it was too deep for me. There we go. It was too deep.
Every person is different. I react differently to every situation, so it all depends. If he's super funny and drunk, I'm probably more forgiving. But-
I don't want to hear your sob story. Let's just put this out there right now. I got enough fucking problems and issues of my own. I don't need your shit too.
Totally
Alright.
different if it's a friend, though, just to clarify.
So we
No.
started this with don't have your opening salvo be my mom died,
Right.
or
Or-
I broke up with my girlfriend,
Yeah, or whatever.
Right.
or
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you're gonna have a conversation with someone, please don't lead it with, unless you are at the funeral home, please don't fucking lead it with depressing ass shit. Honestly, honest to fucking God, I don't care how good your best friend is, I don't care how close you are with them, they don't give as much of a shit as you think they do.
Wait a second, what?
I mean, if they're really your good friend and a best friend or whatever, they should already know kind of what's going on. And so generally they'll ask you pointed questions about things they want to know about. If it's someone you haven't seen in forever, you don't just open with,
Yeah, there is a big difference between me coming to you and telling you my sob story than someone I haven't seen since the last bash,
There you go. There you go.
and
Yeah.
telling them all my problems going on in my life.
because clearly you're not friends enough for them to know,
Yeah,
because they'd already know.
right.
Can I share something totally random and not in any way related
We
to
have
this?
2 minutes, so nice and short.
I am such a hot mess right now that I am wearing swimsuit bottoms for underwear and men's deodorant. That's how hot of a mess I am right now. And
Well-
it only made me think of it because I can smell it. I'm like, I smell like a dude.
That might be why I'm super attracted to you.
It was in the moving box, in the bathroom stuff, and it was in there. And I don't know, I needed some, and it was the first one I grabbed. And I mean, I smell kind of good.
Hey, we're SinCityBounty. We have a Facebook page, Instagram page, a Twitter page,
A Patreon account.
a web page, and a Patreon, where you can go and give us money every month. Help support
Who
the
doesn't
show.
want to do that?
I would love to quit my day job and do this shit full time. There
See-
are 2 other podcasts that I want to get off the fucking ground, and I can't do it till I'm making enough money to quit my regular
Sierra
job.
was talking about maybe we should ask you guys just to give us $1 for every video that we put out. Hey, and as things are going the last 3 months, it's only $3 a month. because we keep missing a week every month.
We should have 2 levels. We should have $1 for every video and $5 a month so you can get into the super secret Facebook.
Yes, we're going to keep that. I was thinking about dropping it down to $3 for the super secret Facebook group, but no, $5 I think is awesome.
Listen, our lack of posting in that is worth $5 a month.
Anyway, you can find all the links on our website, SinCityBounty.com. I am Elexia.
Toxi.
And Sierra.
And we will see you next week.
If you're brave enough.
Later, bitches.